Husband. Chapter 4, Part 2. They had to go through about 7 endless corridors, 2 huge festive halls, where Jack felt like a tiny insect, and 1 long art gallery before the blue living room finally appeared in front of them. It was a magnificent, like everything here, rectangular room with pompous blue furniture, light blue walls, and numerous windows that occupied almost the entire right wall. In the center of the room was a small round table upholstered in a matte silver fabric, and 2 elegant chairs around it, the seats of which were covered in the same silver material. Neanderthal was sitting at the table. There were some strange objects and boxes in front of him, and he himself was reading a small book in a dark brown binding. At the sight of Jack, he put the book aside, stood up, and bowed deeply. "Good morning, master. You look great." Jack did not believe it too much, because the white collar kept bothering him, but naturally he did not say a word about that and calmly responded to the greeting. "I have to ensure some documents related to the marriage between you and our master. These are simple formalities that will not take much time. If you do not mind, we can sort this out right now." Jack was quite surprised, though he did not show it. He thought that the initiator of the marriage would inform him about the formalities, and not his attorney. But there was no point in asking questions. As soon as they sat down at the table, Neander pushed a strange oval-shaped wooden canvas covered with an unusual lid towards Jack. The lid of the canvas was made of an amazing material. It was clearly wood, but totally black, with countless golden veins. Opening the lid, Jack saw a smooth, snow-white canvas with small crimson spots in the middle. There were exactly 5 spots, and judging by their size and location, they were fingerprints of someone's hand. The strange thing was that the blood looked very old. It was so dry in places that it was almost invisible. It seemed that the fingerprints were not made recently, but 5 or even 10 years ago. "What should I do with this?" Jack looked up at Shem. The Lurk handed him a small glass vessel with a colorless liquid inside. "Dip your fingers into the solution and put exactly to the fingerprints." Jack obeyed and carefully, so as not to spill the liquid, put his fingers into the vessel. The first impression was deceptive. The solution was not liquid at all. Jack felt as if his fingers entered a thick mass of shaved ice, but when he pulled his hand out, his skin was completely dry. Suddenly, he heard some movement near the entrance to the living room. Looking there, Jack was surprised to see at least 7 knocks besides the one that brought him here. They all stood at the entrance and watched him intently, with some kind of frightened attention. He realized that what he was about to do now was much more serious than he had thought a second ago. "What happens after I do this?" "Legal marriages are very rare in the Ellermont family," Neander said thoughtfully. "Such seriousness is not peculiar to them. But you're a special case. As I said before, Count Ellermont is extremely serious about you, and he treated the marriage between you with all responsibility. The canvas that lies in front of you is made of the sacred bricolache tree, the rarest value of our world. A marriage concluded on its basis cannot be dissolved under any circumstances." something fell inside Jack. Why does he need this? Unfortunately, I do not have such information, Shem replied politely. Or rather, he lied politely, of which Jack was no less sure than he was of the seriousness of what was happening. He froze with his hand raised in some kind of inhibited confusion, not trusting either Shem or himself. He was about to enter into a marriage that could not be dissolved,